Let me say happy Easter to everyone. Happy Resurrection Day. Jesus is alive, and we're so thankful to be able to be a witness for him. What a great Sunday school lesson we have today for our spring quarter, which is talking about justice and the prophets, as well as our unit number 2 that talks about God promises a just kingdom. And we are examining the promised Messiah who would be a defender of justice. What a beautiful lesson we have today, lesson number 7 for April 12th, 2020, which is talking about hope for a better life. Our printed text for our Sunday school is 1 Corinthians 15, verse 1 through 8, verse 12 through 14, verse 20 through 23, and verse 42 through 45. And here in our lesson today, Apostle Paul is writing to those who are in Corinth. And for this entire 15th chapter, he is defending a case against the belief of many of those in Corinth that there is no resurrection of the dead. So Paul, in this entire 15th chapter, is talking about what is the basis of our Christian faith. The basis of it is just what we're celebrating today on Easter, that Jesus not only lived, died for our sins, but on the third day morning, he got up. He arose from the dead and is alive and well. That is the basis of our belief. And Paul is telling the Corinthians today that the hope of a greater life is found in Jesus Christ. Just as the Corinthians are finding this out, many of us today, the day and age that we live in, are finding out that the only hope for a better life, the only hope for things to get better, is in Jesus Christ. And he not only promises us right now to have a better life, but he gives us the hope of the future and things getting better in the future. So this is the basis of our belief that Jesus died. And as Paul tells us, that there were some witnesses. The 12 disciples saw him. Peter saw him. 500 saw him at a time. And Paul himself says that I saw him on that Damascus road where he had an encounter with Jesus Christ. So that is the basis of our faith, that Jesus died and arose from the dead. But if Christ be not risen, if he is not alive right now, then our faith is in vain. Because all he is just a regular man. If he died and is still dead, all we can say is that he was a great teacher. He was a great rabbi. He was a great philanthropist. He was a great prophet. If he is dead, that's all we can say. But if he is alive, and if he got up from the grave on the third day morning, then we can say he's more than just a man. He is the Son of God. And the hope that we have is that if he got up out of the grave on the third day morning, then when we die, we've got that same hope, that there is a resurrection of the dead. For our loved ones that have gone on before us, there is still hope, if he is alive, that they too will rise from the dead. That is the hope that we have, that comes from Jesus Christ. So what is the application for our lesson today? The application is that since we know that he is alive and rose again, and Jesus wants us as his disciples to go out and to tell the story. He wants us to go out and to be a witness. He wants us to go out and to compel people to come to him who is able to give them a hope of a better life.